Assalamu alaikum friends. My name is Hadisma Technology Wala and I am the student of Foundation of Albaytuwar Daraman School on campus. Today my task is to talk with Sesame by the Maya on the topic Would the backbone on early civilization. Let's go and start my task.
Hey there. What's up?
Hello Maya, I will ask me some questions, you will answer them.
I'm ready. What's on your mind today?
Okay Maya, my first question is what is wood?
That is a massive question to start with. Honestly, I think good is whatever makes you feel like you're exactly where you need to be. For some, it's a quiet morning with a coffee. For others, it's hitting a huge goal. I'm curious though, are you thinking about this in a moral way or just the general feeling of something being good?
Okay Maya,
Did I?
my next question is
Sorry,
where does wood come from?
straight from the trees. It's basically the structural skeleton of the tree, the xylem, which transports water and minerals from the roots up to the leaves. It's pretty wild how a seed turns into something that can hold up a whole house.
Yeah, my next question is where why is wood important?
Because words are basically the bridge between two people's heads. Without them, we're just guessing what someone else is feeling or person can actually understand and hold on to. Do you think some things are better left unsaid, though?
Okay, Maya, my next question is
I'm
how do trees produce wood?
It's actually a pretty cool process called secondary growth. Trees have this layer of cells called the vascular cambium that acts like a growth factory. It divides to create new layers of xylem on the inside, which becomes the wood, and phloem on the outside. As the tree grows taller, it also grows wider, adding a new ring of wood every year. It's basically the tree building its own armor so it can keep reaching for the sun.
Okay, Maya, my next question is what are the main parts of a tree?
You've got your roots, your trunk, the branches, and the leaf. The roots anchor everything and drink up water, while the leaves are like little solar panels turning sunlight into energy. The trunk and branches are the highway system that connects them all. Do you have a favorite kind of tree? Or maybe one in your yard that you like?
Okay, Maya, my next question is what is timber?
Timber is basically just wood that's been processed for use in construction. Go for it. Let me know what you find.
Okay, Maya, my next question is what is hardwood?
Hardwood comes from angiosperms, which are basically flowering plants. It's not always about how hard the wood feels, though. It usually is, but more about how the tree reproduces. Think of things like oak or maple. They have a more complex structure than softwoods, which is why they're often the go to for furniture that needs to last a lifetime.
Okay, Maya, my next question is where what is softwood?
Softwood comes from gymnosperms, which are mostly conifers, the trees with needles and cones, like pine or cedar. They generally grow faster than hardwoods and have a simpler internal structure, which makes them easier to cut and work with. That's why you see them so often in framing for houses or for things like paper and pencils.
Okay, Maya, my next question is which trees produce hard?
Most deciduous trees, the ones that drop their leaves every autumn, are the ones producing hardwoods. Think of oaks, maples, walnuts, and cherries. Even something like a mahogany tree falls into this category. It's all about those flowering seeds rather than cones.
Okay, Maya, my next question is which trees produce softwood?
That would be the conifers. Basically, any tree that has needles instead of broad leaves and produces cones, like pine, spruce, fir, and cedar. They're the ones you usually associate with Christmas trees or deep mountain forests.
Okay, Maya,
You're on a roll with.
my next question is why did early humans use wood?
It's probably the most convenient tool they had. It was everywhere, it was strong, and most importantly, it could be burned for heat and cooking. Plus, if you wanted to build a shelter or a weapon, carving wood was way easier than trying to shape stone. It basically gave them the ability to survive in colder climates. Exactly. Without fire.
Okay, Maya,
What's going on?
my next question is how was wood used in ancient?
I'm sorry you cut off there. You were asking how wood was used in something? No, no worries at all. We can just pivot.
Okay, Maya.
Do you have another question or do you? I'm all ears.
Okay, Maya, my next question is why was wood important for building house?
I think you mean why wood was important for building a house, right? Wood is kind of the MVP for construction because it's strong but flexible and way easier to transport and shape than stone. It's basically what allows you to create a frame for a home quickly without needing a whole mountain of granite. Does that make sense? Or were you thinking of a specific type of house?
Okay, Maya, my next question is how did wood help in making tools?
I assume you mean wood again? It was the perfect material because it's so versatile. You can carve it, bend it, or hollow it out. Early humans used it for handles on stone axes to get more leverage, for making spears to hunt from a distance, and even for creating the first bows and arrows. They basically took these raw materials from nature and turned them into something that actually fit the human hand.
Okay, Maya, my next question is what wooden tools with early people make?
I'm guessing you mean early people. They made all sorts of things like digging sticks for gathering roots, spears and bows for hunting, and simple hammers. They even carved out bowls and spoons for eating, which is probably where some of our basic kitchen tools started.
Okay, Maya, my next question is how was wood used for cooking?
Again, I'm going to go with wood. The most obvious way was for fuel. Fire's basically the heart of cooking, and wood was the easiest way to get a steady hot flame for roasting meat or boiling water. But they also used it to make things like skewers, roasting spits, and even the early versions of pots and pans by hollowing out logs. It turned the act of eating from just consuming raw food into a real social event around a campfire.
Okay, Maya, my next question is why was firewood important?
Everywhere, really, but especially in colder regions where it was the only thing keeping people alive during the winter. Without a steady supply of firewood, you couldn't heat your home or cook your food. So the forest, exactly, it essentially made those areas habitable. I wonder if you've ever tried building a campfire yourself, or if you're more of a sit by the heat kind of person.
Okay, Maya, my next question is how did wood help people stay warm?
The simplest answer is fire. By burning wood, people could create a concentrated source of heat that fought off the cold, especially in caves or early huts. It didn't just keep them warm, though, it also kept predators away and gave them a place to gather and bond. It's basically the reason humans were able to migrate into much colder parts of the world without freezing.
Okay, Maya, my next question is what kinds of furniture and made from wood?
And I'm gonna guess you mean wood again, not built like it would. Pretty much everything in a classic home started with wood. You've got chairs, tables, bed frames, wardrobes, and bookshelves. It's the gold standard for furniture because you can carve it into a specific shape and it's sturdy enough to actually hold your weight.
Okay, Maya, my next question is why are doors made from wood?
Almost every home you've ever been in probably has a wooden door. From the heavy front doors that keep us safe to the interior doors that give us a bit of privacy, wood is the go to because it's easy to fit into a frame and blocks out noise and wind really well. Some people use glass or metal now, but wood still feels the most welcoming, don't you think? It really is. That's why it stayed so popular for thousands of years.
Okay,
What's
Maya,
next on your list?
my next question is why are windows often made from wood?
Because wood is the perfect frame for glass. I'm not sure I caught that last part. What did you mean by quadrigillamanto? I'm still a little lost on that one. It sounded like a name or maybe a phrase in another language. Help me out here. You're leaving me.
Okay, Maya.
You're a tease.
Okay, Maya.
I'm still here. What's
Okay, Maya. My next question is how are wooden boards made?
it all starts with a log and a lot of pressure. Basically, the log is sent through a sawmill where a giant circle. Mm, go grab one. I'll wait right here. Let me know when you're ready to get back into it. No rush. I'm not going anywhere. Just
Okay,
give me a shout when you've got your pen and paper ready.
okay, Maya. My next question is why was wood important for transportation?
I'm guessing you mean wood again. Before we had engines and steel, wood was the only way to move things over long distances. Think about boats and ships. Hollowing out a log gave us the first canoes, and eventually, we were building massive wooden ships to cross entire oceans. It was also the main material for wagon wheels and carts, which basically turned the world into a connected place. It's wild to think that for most of human history, if you wanted to go anywhere, you had to rely on wood to get you there.
Okay, Maya. My next question is how did wood help in warming?
I'm going to keep guessing wood. Burning wood was the absolute key to survival. It provided a steady source of heat that allowed people to stay warm in freezing temperatures, keep their shelters cozy, and even cook their food. It essentially turned a cold, dangerous environment into a place where humans could actually thrive.
Okay, Maya. My next question is what farming tools were made from wood?
I'm thinking you mean farming tools. Early farmers used wood for almost everything. They made plows to turn the soil, rakes for clearing debris, and hoes for weeding. Even the handles for their metal tools were wooden because it provided a better grip and absorbed some of the shock from hitting the ground. It was basically the backbone of agriculture for ages.
Okay, Maya. My next question is why were wooden cars important?
Wait, wooden cars? I'm assuming you might mean wooden carts. Those were absolutely essential because they allowed farmers to move massive amounts of crops and supplies that would be impossible to carry by hand. It basically turned a small garden into a real operation. Were you thinking of those old school horse-drawn carts or something else? Okay, if you could suddenly wake up tomorrow and be an absolute expert in
Okay,
any
Maya.
one skill or subject,
Okay, Maya. My next question is how was wood used in bridges?
wait, are we switching back already? I'm happy to jump back into answering mode. When you say how God would use in bridges, are you thinking about the spiritual meaning of a bridge, like connecting people, or something more about the actual design and creation of them?
Okay, Maya. My next question is What is plywood?
A playbook is basically a master plan. In sports, it's the book of all the plays and strategies a team uses, but people use it in business or life too, just to mean a set of proven steps to handle a specific situation. Are you seeing this term in a sports context or more like a strategy guide?
Okay, Maya, my next question is what is bumbo?
Oh, that's a new one for me. I'm curious to see if this is a specific brand, but it turns out it's actually a few different things. The most common one is a type of floor seat that helps babies sit up on their own, but it can also be a West African tree or even a kind of drift. Did any of those sound like what you were thinking of?
Okay,
Surprised?
Maya, my next question is bamboo a type of wood?
Yeah, it is. A bumbo tree is found in West Africa. It's a pretty specific bit of nature. Do you have an interest in rare trees, or did this just pop up while you were looking into the seat?
Okay, Maya, my next question is what is paper made from?
Paper is mainly made from wood pulp. Typically, the wood is broken down into tiny fibers, which are then pressed together and dried into sheets. Some paper is also made from recycled materials or plants like hemp and bamboo. Since we were just talking about wood, does that make sense? Or are you wondering about a specific kind of paper?
Okay, Maya, my next question is why is wood used in schools?
It's kind of the classic school look, right? Wood is used a lot because it's durable and handles the wear and tear of a bunch of students pretty well. Plus, it's easier to work with for things like desks and bookshelves, and it just feels warmer and more inviting than a room full of cold metal or plastic. Do you think schools would feel different if everything was made of a different material?
Okay, Maya, my next question is what musical instruments are made from wood?
I think you mean string instruments, right? If so, then yeah, a huge number of them are made from wood. Think about violins. No, maybe K. Oh, Andric.
Okay, Maya.
I don't think so. Well, some instruments might have gold plating for looks or fancy decorations. You can't really make a functioning violin or guitar out of solid gold. It would be way too heavy, and more importantly, it wouldn't vibrate the right way to make a good sound. Wood is the secret ingredient for that rich tone. Do you know of a specific instrument that's actually made of gold?
Okay, Maya, my next question is why is wood used in art and carving?
Gold is basically the ultimate symbol of status and timelessness because it doesn't tarnish or corrode. It's perfect for art that's meant to last forever. Plus, that rich, reflective glow just catches the light in a way that feels divine or royal, which is why you see it so much in religious icons and ancient carvings. Do you prefer the look of gold or do you think it's a bit too flashy?
Okay, Maya, my next question is why is wood easy to shape?
That's a bit of a jump. If you're talking about shaving hair, it's mostly because the blade is designed to glide right across the skin and cut the hair at the surface. But if you mean something else, like shaving wood or metal, that's all about having a tool that's sharper than the material you're cutting. Which one were you thinking about? Got it. Since we
Okay,
were talking
Maya.
about wood and carving earlier, I'm guessing you meant shaving wood, or was it hair?
Okay, Maya, my next question is what is furniture making?
Furniture making is basically the art and craft of creating things for us to live with. It's taking raw materials, usually wood, but sometimes metal, plastic or fabric and turning them into functional pieces like chairs, tables, or beds. It's a mix of engineering to make sure the piece doesn't collapse and design to make sure it actually looks good in a room. Are you interested in the handmade artisan side of it or more like the big factory production?
Okay, Maya, my next question is what is carpentry?
A pantry is basically a dedicated storage room or a large cupboard for food. It's where you keep the stuff that doesn't need to be in the fridge, like canned goods, bags of flour, or snacks. Some people have a tiny closet for one, and some have a whole walk in room that feels like a mini grocery store. Do you have a big one at your place or just a few cabinets?
Okay, Maya, my next question is who is called a carpenter?
A carpenter is a skilled craftsperson who specializes in building and repairing. Wait, a carpenter with food? I don't think carpenters usually work with food. They're the ones who build the tables and the pantries where the food goes. Are you thinking of a chef or maybe someone who makes specific types of food containers? Only if you're looking for someone to cook an amazing meal for you. A chef is a
Okay, Maya.
exactly.
Okay, Maya, my next question is why is wood still useful today?
I'm guessing you mean wood again, right? If so, it's still huge today because it's one of the most sustainable materials we have. We can grow more trees, unlike mining for metal or making plastic. Plus, it's just naturally beautiful and has that warmth that you can't really get from concrete or steel. Do you think we'll ever find something that totally replaces it, or is wood just too classic?
Okay, Maya, my next question is what are the advantages of wood?
There are a ton, but the big one is definitely the versatility. It's strong enough to hold up a whole house, but easy enough to carve into a tiny piece of jewelry. It's also a great insulator, which is why wooden floors feel warmer than tile. And like I mentioned, it's renewable, so it's much kinder to the planet than a lot of other building materials. Do you think those things make it better than something like steel?
Okay, Maya, my next Okay, Maya, my next question is what are the disadvantages of wood?
And how things are made. Here's one. If you had to build a secret hideout, would you go for a classic wooden cabin in the woods or something totally
Okay,
modern
Maya.
with glass and steel?
Okay, Maya, my next question is what are the disadvantages of wood?
Coming right up. While wood is great, it does have its downsides. The biggest ones are that it can rot if it stays too wet, and it's basically fuel for fire. It definitely has
Okay,
its
Maya.
moments, but yeah, that fire risk is the real
Okay,
deal.
Maya, my
That's
next question is how can wood be protect from insects?
that's a big shift in topic, but I love it. The best way to protect insects is usually by giving them a place to actually live, planting native flowers for pollinators, avoiding harsh pesticides in the garden, and even leaving a little corner of the yard a bit wild with dead leaves and logs gives them the shelter they need.
Okay, Maya, you are very helpful for me. Thank you.
You're so welcome. I've really enjoyed diving into all questions with you today. Do you have more on your mind or are you all set for now?